Nick Frost and Simon Pegg are back in Paul, the hilarious story of two sci-fi fans who take a road trip across America's extraterrestrial highway. Little do they know they're about to have a close encounter of their own kind in the form of Paul, a grey-skinned, big-eyed and distinctly potty-mouthed alien. I caught up with Simon and Nick and director Greg Mottola to ask them if Paul was the movie their inner geeks had always wanted to make.
I'm somebody who saw 2001 when I was 7. My parents took me to a revival of it in the theater. They fell asleep, and I dreamt about it for the rest of my childhood. I started reading sci-fi books. I was really obsessed with certain writers, Ray Bradbury, Robert Heinlein.
Graham and Clive are a manifestation of our inner geeks. They're kind of us at our most nerdy. I mean, a lot's made of this whole nerd thing. It's just about being a fan of stuff and not being ashamed to say it, And all those people, that culture that we kind of address in the movie slightly, the people that often are kind of laughed at or sneered at. And we love these kind of movies. We love Steven Spielberg, and we're openly fans of populist, exciting cinema, and we wanted to make one of our own, so.
The movie runs the risk of being pure nostalgia for a certain generation, but obviously these are some of the most famous films ever made, and they're also come from a period when movie making changed. I mean, suddenly you could show creatures and worlds on the screen in a way no one had ever seen before, and I think that's another reason why there's such important films.
A movie with explosions, spaceships, and a computer-generated character marked quite a radical departure for Greg Mottola. Was Paul a daunting project for the Superbad and Adventureland director?
Basically, I was very scared going into it, and then now that it's done, I didn't realize how scared I should be. It was really way over my head, and if I knew how hard it was, I maybe would have not. I would have said, find someone more experienced. And one time I was rewatching E.T. the multiple times I rewatched it during pre-production, and I was watching The Humans, and I thought, God, so much of this works because you believe them. You believe what they're doing. These little kids look like they're looking at an alien for the first time.
We had lots of conversations about how we would do that before. We kind of talked about a dummy with a big speaker in its head. And someone off with a microphone so the noise came out,
And all of the money, a third of the budget, went into making Paul work, making him good and feel photoreal, and that he had gravity and that he had a personality. And I thought, if I can get a kind of naturalistic, more low-key comedy performance out of pixels, that would be a cool thing to have achieved. So that was a huge part of my effort on this.
We couldn't ask Seth to just come and do lines off. It was unfair to an actor to do that, even though that's kind of what we needed. And also Seth had to go and do the Green Hornet. Joe Latrulio, who already had a big part in the film as Agent O'Reilly, whose scenes take place away from Paul, was able to come in and be Paul. So we had a very, very adept comedy actor who would...
Such a selfless thing to do as well.
Yeah, he was extraordinary, Joe, and we'll always love him for it.
Among all the slapstick and jokes about alien probing, there's a real heart to Paul, with themes of being true to yourself and the importance of friendship.
To make a film this big and to have a character like Paul, we had to open it up slightly and bring in this slightly broader kind of humour and create a more, I know I say family oriented, there's a lot of swearing in it. If your family are all over 15, fine. We also are always very at pains to make sure that our stories are very human and have real emotion and real characters that you can love and get to like and care about. So when they do find themselves in danger, you worry. And so yes, we do open it up to a little scatological fun, but at the same time, there's a real sweet love story at the heart of it.
Well, I don't think we wanted people to look at our dynamic and think, oh, it's them doing that again. So, I think we both took the decision that let's change it a little bit, and what you see to a certain extent is kind of a version of our relationship anyway on the screen. And I think if people were bored of that, they would be, by definition, bored of us, and I think it would be fairly upsetting.
Paul, starring Simon Pegg, Nick Frost and Seth Rogen, is a heartwarming love letter not only to the science fiction epics of the past, but also to the fans who love them. Rated 15, it's out now, and you can book tickets at www.cineworld.co.uk.
Just watch.
It's a miracle! Why would you do that?
I'm not gonna eat a dead bird, am I?